Hi, my name's Liam and I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to A-level law today. So we'll start with a very brief overview. So you'll study 3 papers across your 2 years with us. Those being criminal law, so your blood, guts and gore that everybody comes to us to study, but also tort, so negligence, personal injury, that sort of thing. And then contract, where we're talking about legal agreements that people will come to. And then across all 3 papers, we also study the English legal system and how that functions, as well as some different theories of law. Like I say, we're going to be looking at contract law today, so specifically the consumer rights, because it's something that most of you will have already had some level of interaction with. You may not know it, but you definitely have. So let's start with first, what is a contract? So again, it's a term that we may have all come across and we may all think we know what it is, but we probably couldn't give an actual definition of it if we were asked. So what we're talking about here essentially is a legally binding agreement where 2 different parties agree to exchange 2 different things. So that can be goods, services, money, and they also want to be legally bound by that to make sure both parties do actually keep their promise. And within that, so the promises that we make end up becoming key terms of the contract. And if one of those is then broken, so you break the promise, you've breached that term of the contract. So the Consumer Rights Act then, which like I said is the main focus of today, essentially is this massive piece of legislation that puts 10 key rights into a contract that every consumer can then rely on in a contract with a business. And essentially, it also, as well as those rights, gives us different remedies. When we're talking about a remedy, we're essentially saying what the business can do to fix the issue that the consumer has faced. So they're up there, so feel free to have a pause there, have a scan through those, try and work out what they are. We're going to go through them as we progress. So the first thing I want you to do is pause the video here and have a look through this scenario. So you've got an exam scenario here because on A-level law we are assessed purely through exams and scenarios like this. So have a pause there, have a read through that scenario for me. So the first section of the Consumer Rights Act that we need to talk about is the section on satisfactory quality. So essentially, anything we purchase, any service that we receive, has to be of a quality that we as a consumer would be happy with. And essentially what that then means is that it has to be free from any defects, it has to be fit for the purpose, it has to be durable, and it has to be safe when we use it. But what you'll notice is that I've got 2 different brands on the presentation in front of you. And the reason being that what we'd expect from Louis Vuitton being a high-end luxury brand and what quality we'd expect is obviously very different to what we'd expect from a lower-end brand like Shein. So cost definitely does come into this. So when we're talking about luxury goods, we want a higher quality. If we're talking about less luxury goods, we expect a lower quality of that. So if we go back to that scenario from earlier, we've got Karen who's gone to a designer store. So that indicates to us we're talking about a luxury brand. And when she gets this blazer home, the stitchings come loose. So is it durable? Is it fit for its purpose? No, it's not, because the stitching's coming away. She can't wear a jacket if it's going to fall apart when she puts it on. So that clearly isn't of satisfactory quality. The next section we need to talk about is whether the good is actually fit for purpose. And what we mean by that is, can it actually do what it's meant to do? So an example that I can give you is if you go to Boots or Sephora or anywhere like that to buy a moisturiser. We use a moisturiser to keep the skin nice and hydrated, but we also may use SPF, or you may use makeup or anything else to kind of deal with that. So if I buy some moisturiser, I put it on and then I put my SPF over the top of that and it starts to react, it can't be mixed with other chemicals, we know that that moisturiser is not fit for its purpose. And a key thing to note with this is that if the business are aware of why you're purchasing that product, even if it's not actually intended for that use, by them allowing you to purchase it, they are agreeing that you can actually use that good, that product, for what you want to do, even if it's not what it's actually intended to do. So looking back at that scenario, the evidence that we need to pick apart, we've got that she's received a job offer and it has a strict dress code. She then goes to the store, specifically requests a black blazer. She's assured that one will be sent to her, that it will be ordered into store for her to collect. And then obviously when it arrives, the blazer's red, so it's not black, it's not fit for the purpose of which Karen requested it. And also, it's not in her size, so she can't wear a jacket and it can't be used for work if it's 3 sizes too small. So again, it's clearly not fit for its intended purpose. And the last one is section 11, that goods must be as described. So with this, you may wonder why I've got a tin of peaches there. I promise I'll come to it. It's the best reminder of why contract law is so petty. Essentially, if I purchase goods based on a description of them, when they arrive, they must match that description. Quite straightforward. And again, one of the cases that we're going to look at is Remore and Landauer, which is to do with the peaches. So this consumer purchased 3,000 tins of peaches. Clearly, they had a favourite fruits. They ordered 3,000 tins of peaches, and based on this description, they were going to be stacked in cases of 30. But when they arrived, he still got 3,000 tins, but they were in 24s. The problem with that being, that is not the description that they purchased the goods based on. Therefore, even though they've got materially what they asked for, the entire order is sent back and a full refund is issued, to the annoyance of the business. So again, back to Karen. She wanted a black blazer. That's what she's ordered. She opens it up. It's bright red. We can all tell that black and red are two very different colours. Karen's not happy with it. So again, she can reject that jacket. So then we come to the remedies, that this is essentially what the business can do to fix the issue faced by the consumer. There's scary legal language up there, nothing to worry about whatsoever. So up at the top with section 20, it's your bog standard. Take it back to store in 30 days with your receipt and get a full refund. But as well, if Karen then decides, well, actually, I do quite like this red blazer, so I do want to keep it, I just want it fixing, she can take it back to store and insist that somebody either fixes the stitching, makes it, repairs the damaged goods, or she can ask for a fresh red jacket, a complete replacement. Or if she wants a bit of time to think about it and it's gone past those 30 days, she can then outright reject the goods or take a partial refund under section 24. So if you have been interested in anything that I've said today about law, there's a number of different books that you can read, articles, podcasts that you can listen to, and as well you can scan that QR code there to go to the HNC course page. Thank you.